Well, how's it going, Kingsman? I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you guys are ready for some more glorious, vicious fighting. Today we have another clan battle between the Napoleonics and I believe the, is it RC or LK? One of the two. Honestly, I'm blanking. Actually, you can figure that out. Oh, the RC and the Napoleonics. I apologize. Yeah, so the RC, Napoleonics, actually, looks like we may have some cavalry clashing over here. So these are 1799 cores that are going to be playing here. Of course, on the French side, you can see, it looks like Massena getting a little bit of an assault here from a potential Suvorov. Now, let's go over the coalition factions first, just because those are the ones that we can't see yet. So, on the... Never mind. Looks like we have some Grenadiers going to get charged here. Form a square, I'm assuming, as some Chasseurs Cheval charge in here. Yep, they do form a square. Okay, so, anyway. So, the RC are playing as the coalition here. And they have a 5-point Cornwallis. That is the UK. You can see there. You have a 10-point... Oh, boy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. There's a 10-pointer, a 9-point Suvorov, and an 8-point York. So I guess technically 2 UK forces. On the other side, 7-point Massena, 11-point Moreau, Saint Sancerre, 8, and then Dessay, 6-pointer. Yeah, okay, so maybe Cornwallis is this one. I don't know which UK, the York or the Cornwallis. I'm not sure which one it'll be. But either way, guys, a beautiful battle, and I will say the results are just stunning. I love to see such good kills on both sides. Makes me very excited to see a battle here. Now, it looks like Massena is going to take the LSC over here. You can see kind of the French are a little bit spread out right now. Of course, you have the 8-point France pushing up right behind 11-point. And let's see, where is the others? So you have Dessay sitting over here. And then, of course, actually you have both French armies here, Massena and Moreau. But it does look like we have some coalition already taking this fortress, putting their troops together, joining forces maybe. Oh, that's some cool looking uniforms. Oh, what happened to that guy's pants? What? That's obviously, you know, probably just a glitch. Who knows? But anyway, we're starting to see a lot of cavalry on both sides. You can see kind of a nice screen from both sides. That's some very professional plays. You always want to screen your armies. You don't want them to know where you're pushing, which is why the coalition is actually pushing up a lot of cavalry. Here's more UK infantry. Look at these dudes. They're closing in. They're ready to make a fight. It's kind of weird they don't have any flags. But who needs flags? Uniforms say it all. Yeah, so the French are going to get some cavalry reinforcements. Obviously, they have screens. They have some sappers from Massena who are going to push up. Probably deploy some stakes, try to defend their flank. The bulk of the French are, of course, rolling down this road towards the LOC, where you have, you know, Dessay pushing into the town. Dessay is probably going to make first contact with the enemy, and the forward guard he has is definitely the Vanguard, I believe it's called, making some skirmishing with this UK force that is making their stand around the town. This is, I believe, Flanders 3, for those who want to know the map. I know I don't always say the map name. I apologize, sometimes I don't know it, but I remember seeing that. It is Flanders 3. Alright, so a lot of our cavalry start making an appearance on both sides. I heard some artillery firing for the coalition. We know there's an army here, and there's probably more armies over here as well. More land forces. I guess lion infantry, I should say. Gosh, my computer does not like running this many models. Yeah, that's a lot of forces, and obviously you still have an entire French army that is yet to make it over here. Artillery got left behind. Oh, no, it didn't anymore. We're just we're still looking. We're still figuring out what the enemy is going to do, or the foes are going to do here. Obviously, I'm impartial. I'm not taking a side. I naturally do. Once someone starts losing, I take the side of them. It's just how it is. I'm always rooting for the underdog. Now, I do see some artillery going to get charged. Oh, no, horse artillery. Chefs of Cheval, lightning fast, striking on them. And, yeah, they're going to die. Okay, so we do have Suvorov and the UK and the, I guess, Austrians? They're mostly, I see a lot of Bavarian troops here, but I'll call them Austria. Ooh, wow, France is lightning fast with these light cavalry engagements, taking on some skirmishers, and then gonna get themselves out of there. Oh no, going for the artillery, and there's nothing to defend this oh my gosh, this is a lot of artillery that was left alone. France is gonna strike 4 guns and take him out. Maybe he will break. Nah, he's not gonna break. He will take out all the guns for the coalition. A huge loss early on. I'm sure they weren't super expensive, but still, unfortunately, the French or the coalition are not gonna have as many artillery pieces to then, you know, able to fire. And we are starting to see a development here. So the line is starting to be drawn here. Now, there is an entire French army on the flank. The coalition's going to have to watch out for that. Because, I mean, they seem to be going straight at this French army. I don't know if they realize that there is a lot of troops. I mean, this 8-pointer, it's got to be at least 2,000 men. Maybe less, but roughly about 2,000 men here. Even 1,500 would be a lot. Now, this is an interesting development here. You have the UK pushing on Desailly. Desailly is facing the Austrians and the British at the same time. If Austria maybe pushed at the same time, they could crush a 6-pointer. Now, maybe they wouldn't actually be as effective. Obviously, there's a lot more cavalry moving up. Well, sorry, guys. I got a little interrupted. There was a little bit of a crisis with the kiddos. Anyway, we're back. Yeah, so as I was saying before... I lost my train of thought here. France has a chance to be totally destroyed in this flank to say, getting hit from 2 sides, which is probably why they're shifting over cavalry from Miro. From 11-pointer, shifting over to kind of help out here. The UK could. I mean, I know that this is a low-point army, so it's kind of risky for them to push all on their own. And obviously, they are separated at this point in time. Probably don't have a ton of squares. But, you know, they can do something, obviously, to distract. Ooh, some beautiful volleys by the UK. They're absolutely wrecking some of this French cavalry. They have artillery as well, so they definitely have some claws and teeth. Very deadly here. Also, the French are forming up here.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Potentially, I'm going to push on the coalition from multiple places. However, it does look like this 11-pointer is going to have the biggest push at this time. To say is going to have to spend the majority of his force to defend the rear. They have to have a rear guard, otherwise this can be an easy place to pincer. I'm really surprised that Austria didn't try pushing on Desailly. Maybe he was worried about the 11-pointer flanking him. I guess that is a potential threat, you know. It's not a very strong army all by itself. Still, I thought maybe they'd push. But I understand why not. You know, I understand. I get it. Now, the French have a very nice position. The coalition's still shifting. I do not... Oh. We had a lot of cavalry crash into this 8-pointer. Cavalry from France kind of countering here. The UK throwing some cavalry forward as well. Now France is in danger. They're shifting a lot more cavalry. Massena shifting forward some cavalry as well to defend this side. They obviously are trying to get away from the cavalry force. The coalition is starting to push up. At the same time, oh, the artillery. I mean, it's only fair. Austria lost their guns. They're going to go after the guns of France. At the same time, though, you can see the 11-pointer pushing quite hard here against Austria and Suvorov. The UK making their push here. Dessay being forced to form up to meet them. He does have a good defensive position. Looks like he's actually going to fall back as well. And this battle seems to be developing quite quickly here. I do believe... Oh yes, all the cavalry charging it against France. My goodness. Yeah, so the coalition definitely is smacking really hard right here against this A-pointer, really trying to break them down with their cav support. They have lost me 1 cav unit so far, and they have not broken any French units, but they probably have weakened them. Yeah, you see these guys are winded. They have taken some losses, definitely, and they are just trying to pull back. So the coalition is kind of actually pushing kind of hard here. At the same time, though, that is a lot of cavalry and infantry pushing. Oh my goodness. Hussars are going to smack into the French. Oh, that's a beautiful angle we have here. Good job, Kingston. I was kidding. But wow. Wow. The French getting hit rather hard here. Oh, what? Oh, no. Austria loses their general. That is so unfortunate here. We do have Dessay falling back. The UK just being so tenacious. In fact, it looks like Dessay has only left 6 units in total to defend against this UK force. The rest are starting to push here. France maybe going to try closing this gap right here. And this is the second time it seems to, like 2 days in a row. Yesterday's battle was beautiful, cinematic, and this one looks just as cinematic. Look at this. We have a lot of skirmishers now. Trilliers starting to push up here. The UK getting a line up. Looks like some Highlanders up in the front. France is closing with Austria. Austria has some light and line infantry as their rear guard putting in some fire here as Dessay starts pushing. Now Dessay has to shift forces back as the UK are starting to get very aggressive. I like to see it. Austria loses yet another cav unit, smacking into this French line. I think they're trying to buy, like, kind of maybe cause some confusion in the French lines so Suvorov can push forward and get all aggressive with all of their lines. They are very fast moving. They have some grenadiers mixed in here. France, though, starting to form up. They have their cavalry in reserve. I kind of like that they have gaps in the lines for the cavalry to kind of issue forward, kind of charge up. Nice skirm line. Oh, they break the height. Oh, no, those aren't Highlanders.
Our men are running for.
They do break some of the UK lines. More French now approaching. They have a beautiful line of communications ranging along here. They can shift reinforcements. Dessay is still holding a portion of this line, but the UK are definitely starting to push on them. This is getting concerning. This flank, this French force holding the rear guard, not looking too good. However, we do have a French attack formulating. Some sappers going in, some chasseurs cheval went in first. Let's see the UK have a... Oh, that's not going to go well for France. That is going to go terribly. Now, they do have a lot of stakes for France. That's going to make it very, very good for them to defend against cavalry. It's going to be very difficult for the coalition to actually use their cavalry engagement. Oh my goodness, Suvorov going in. A counter cavalry charge, though. Breaking them up a little bit. Come on, fire. Oh, they just melt the back line of this cavalry. But here we go. France is committing yet another charge here. The Grenadiers going in here. More cavalry over here are going to go in as Suvorov is trying to close that distance. As Austria looks like they sent some cavalry in. Suvorov's going in though. Another counter cav charge though, breaking up that line infantry engagement. Austria is actually in trouble as France seems to be going in for a melee with the 70th. The UK look like they are now getting closed in with melee as well. Oh my goodness, everything's happening at once. The UK seem to be doing not too good now at this moment. I mean, they're getting hit pretty hard here. This center fight against Suvorov seems to actually be going quite well for France at the moment. Over here, the UK, things aren't looking too good for them either.
The men are fatigued.
Maybe the coalition had their troops too widespread here. You can see all these forces are now converging in the center where France is kind of breaking it through the lines. These seem to have stabilized a little bit. Suvorov still standing firm. Austria using their cavalry to really good effect here. This is the concerning point, guys. Look at this France focusing down this UK. The one thing I was worried about, the UK going to get focused super easily. Now, it looks like Austria actually is trying to help out as best they can, getting a back charge on this French line. Kind of doing effectively. The left flank for the UK has been defended, with Austria breaking through here. That's a huge win for the UK, even though the right flank has kind of crumbled a little bit. They still have kind of restabilized. They have cavalry that charged in and broke that French attack. The center over here is not looking too good here for the coalition. I mean, they are pushing back the French at least. France has a lot of troops kind of clustered in this area. The UK are still scrambling to get a lineup to meet them. But Austria, man, they are starting to really break through Desailles here. And the UK have totally restabilized. That cav charge kind of saved the day for them. And now Desailles is in a bit of trouble here. This line getting hit from two sides, ending up not being too good of a thing for Desailles. France over here doing quite well, but things seem to be kind of re-stabilizing for the coalition. They seem to actually be making a push, getting their reserves up. Even some cavalry. Let's just call this captured. I know I'm missing a ton. Skirmishers getting charged now. France still has some reserve lines. Dragoons being countercharged here to break up that UK cav charge. Looks like Suvorov's getting re-engaged here. The 102nd going in against Suvorov. Maybe some cavalry as well charging in. A square does get formed. Over here, Austria is starting to pick apart Desailles' line. The UK pushing from the other side, being very tenacious. They are not letting the French go down. They are not going down easy.
Our men are running.
The UK recovered beautifully from this. Now, Austria definitely seems like they've taken some losses here. But they have broken up Desailles quite a bit. It looks like we have, once again, some more engagement here. Ooh. The general in a square being defended. France has cavalry in the back lines here. This looks like a very weak point in the coalition's line. This is where I would pursue my attack. But here we go. A fresh assault being made by France. And this, I mean, this whole line right here is very weak. Oh, wow. So we had a flanking charge here. I love that it's not a lot of heavy cav, it's more light cav, hussars and that sort, but it's still very fun to see the cav play. Desailles has held on a very long time. I'm surprised he's still holding. But the coalition need to break this flank right here, this whole section, so they can turn and face, because their ally, I think, is about to become heavily outnumbered here. With the masses of France just pushing forward. Look at that. You know, the general staff riding back and forth, try to spot gaps in the line. France is going for a bayonet charge here.
Our men are running, sir.
Cavalry coming in too. The 2nd Hussars. And France is lunging forward to the attack here. Cavalry going from multiple angles. Rear line of the UK going head on. This is that weak point I was talking about. France is exploiting it, even getting a rear charge. Oh, this UK is about to break. Oh man, I'm missing way too much. Suvrov's actually getting hit kind of hard now. They need to start to turn against this coalition.
Our men are running, sir.
The UK is trying to make as much pressure as they can, make as much of a advance as they can, because their allies are starting to run low. Yeah, the cavalry from France is just becoming a pain. And unfortunately, I think this UK is almost dead. I mean, they have some lines here, but the French have a lot more. And Suvorov and Austria are looking kind of like they're running low here. France, or the UK, is trying to push forward to kind of save as best they can this kind of center that's kind of crashing down on the coalition. But there's a line here for the UK and a line here. But that line is quickly becoming low.
Our men are running, sir.
And this is a problem. This whole drive, this whole wedge is being forced, especially with the cavalry back charging. It's just impossible. Suvorov's almost gone. This UK is still doing well, but they're unfortunately too far away now. And I think the French may take this. Man, this is going to be a short battle. Seems to be going for maybe half an hour, not even.
We have killed their general, sir.
Another coalition general. Unfortunately, Austria losing the general early on did not help. Look at that square, though. That was a massacre if I've ever seen one. So at this point, the only coalition that is left is this, the lowest UK points on the field. They do have some cavalry support. They can still win this. They can still push up and crush whatever French army's left. However, this is a very strong, united French army still. I mean, they have a lot of troops left on the field. And the French did have more troops in the coalition, which is kind of a rare thing. I feel like you don't see that very often. I mean, there is, let's say that's 4, 5, 6, 7,000 Imperials versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How much should I say? I mean, maybe roughly about the same, I guess. 6 to 7,000 on each side. But, oh my gosh. That is a bloody field. That is just death on another level.
We have killed their
And it keeps going.
Break.
When you realize it actually goes over this hill. Alright, I'm getting distracted here. Looks like we have another cavalry engagement here. I like the uniforms of this UK cavalry. Uh-oh, Massena's gonna be killed. Can he get away? Run, Massena, run. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no. No way he rides through this line. Look at him, he's just sitting in the middle. Oh. Oh, Massena. No. Alright, anyway. We have a coalition now that is kind of waiting it out, I guess. The French are going to unite and probably deal with them. However, Massena has been killed. The French obviously are going to have to reform here. The UK are going to have to make an attack, unfortunately. I feel like the French were able to hold this UK force back with less troops. And this was probably a good chunk of, you know, troops here. I think that they had 1707. And they had 1,700 men, basically. That's a lot of men that the French could have, you know, got destroyed by, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that was a good fight here, and it was well exchanged, but I feel like the French had less. They did lose it, but obviously they delayed long enough so the coalition couldn't get these men that have been really useful over here to help out. Either way, France can now form up. I'm curious how the French are going to attack this because they got to be careful here. They're probably a little bit tired at least. They have some winded men, some fresh men, but they have probably equal numbers with this UK. And they don't have a lot of cavalry. They have this heavy cav right here, but the UK have at least 4 units of cavalry plus some artillery. They have 3 units of four plus artillery, so they're gonna have to be very, very cautious here how they make this attack. They could also just go for LOCs, as this is a clan battle. But their quality is better than this. This is almost like militia, this UK. A portion of this UK is very good, and a portion of it isn't. They just gotta watch out, as they have some squares at least. Well, not a whole lot of squares, so they just gotta be cautious. These say have skirmishers. They gotta pick off the UK a little bit. And there is more cavalry. Now, it's only 2, I believe, that I've seen. Maybe 3, although that one's pretty low. I'm starting to hear regular volleys again. See, the coalition can afford to stick their artillery somewhere and let the French come to them. And I'm curious where those guns are. Where are they? Let's hit the fast forward button because France is just kind of pursuing them at this point. Now they got to watch out for the cavalry charges. I gotta keep fast forwarding, I guess. But yeah, no, it's turning into interesting development, you know? One army versus, I mean, how many are left? You have Massena, you have the 11-pointer. Is there any of the 8-pointer left? A little bit, I guess, of the 8-pointer. Desay's gone. He sacrificed everything. I think he has 1 or 2 units over here, but yeah. All it takes is 1 cav unit in the center to run down these skirmishers, and it is going to be game over for the skirms in general. Now, Massena's still here, but remember, he did die, so it's just the general staff left. Oh. Another cavalry engagement. Artillery also firing for the coalition. There it is. Yeah, so the coalition have made their choice of ground, and they are standing firm. And the problem is France has a lot of small units that cannot take a long line fight. Oh, the Impatuis. There it goes. What I suspected was going to happen. Skirmishers get run down by cavalry. Now this cav unit may break. Yeah, it's going to break. Now it may run down 1 more cavalry unit, or 1 more skirm unit. If they do, that is a huge win. But now we may have a countercharge here with the heavy cav. Gonna go for artillery, I'd bet. That's what I'd do. So the UK did charge in. Unfortunately, they hit the few squares that the French have left on this right flank. Yeah, this is going to be a pure out-shooting them. Now, the coalition can pull back to where they have a little bit more of a numerical advantage, just the same. At this point, you can see the French are just focusing fire on 1 unit at a time, and they will probably win this just because that's what I would do. You gotta use your superior numbers. I'm not sure where this artillery is firing for the UK, but, I mean, the French obviously don't want to lose. I think there's enough cover here. They should be fine. This UK is going to get chopped up. A bullet doesn't care of the quality of the man. It will kill no matter what. Now, we do have the UK waiting for a cavalry charge here. A huge play here, and the crash of morale here on the flank is very apparent here. And now Austria is charging it as well. Oh my gosh. If only they can stand firm, as Austria can just keep their units. Oh my goodness. The flank crumbles. France has lost an entire side. Now they are still winning over here, but now they have to be wary of fresh troops pushing on their flank. And as the units are also going to start taking losses. It is too early still to be thinking that the UK or the Imperials or Coalition may be going for LOCs. There's plenty of time left to consider that still. You do have some Suvorov units kind of pushing on the flank. We have a UK general. Maybe that was general, maybe that was just cavalry. But either way. Yep, see the UK is going to be pushing back. The French are going to have to deal with this eventually. And the fact that there is coalition pushing on their rear. Maybe one or two remnants of regiments. So that's a grenadier. That's not going to be fun to deal with. The coalition have to be really aggressive on this flank if they want to win this. But I do see a lot of French redlining. And the artillery is going to start getting kind of brutal. Man, the French could still lose. Oh. Oh, the counter volley will be super crucial in this. And it works, thankfully, for the Imperials. I mean, France looks like they may be going for a melee. That's probably a wise decision at this point. Cavalry and infantry coordinated. They need to smash through this coalition quickly. Now is the time for a full-on assault. And it is starting to work. France is breaking through this left flank. Cavalry is going to shift over to help out, but still, the weight of the French assault is telling. But the counter charge with cavalry from the UK seems to actually be stopping this assault for now, but still the damage was done to the UK. This Suvorov Grenadier is going to be a pain in the side. Still, France managed to pull out on top. They still have some units in reserve line. The UK are definitely running low on men. And the general, oh, the general. I think he's about to die. Is that him right there? Well, he breaks, and now this Chasseur Cheval has done so much. Oh, Hussars, sorry. These Hussars are doing a ton of damage to this UK line. And the scales have kind of tipped back in favor of the Imperials once again. Such a small battle, and yet it carries so much weight. And these Hussars, there's nothing the French or the coalition can do against it. You see the morale just breaking. Such thick, large units, and they break to such a light cav unit. Alright, I'm gonna hit the fast forward button again. So, I suspect, like I said before, this will definitely be a French win here. LOC is even taken by the, French. There's a 4-pointer over here the coalition have, but it's matched by the 4-pointer of the French, so it does not truly matter. Looks like one last defense here of the Suvorov. Yeah, they break. What a battle, especially out here. This fight went back and forth so much. I wish I could have caught every little detail of it, but there was too much happening all at once. I considered like maybe if I should go back and try to record one side then the other and then splice them together. But that takes so much editing. So what you get is what you get, guys. And you can just appreciate it as a whole, I guess. That is brutal. I don't think I even, like I said, I'm not even doing justice to it. I mean, that is just, oh my gosh. Like, enemy killed. I should calculate it. Maybe that'll be the title of the video. how many soldiers lost their lives in this one fight. But anyway, this one unit way over here, probably they're going to march up here, and they're just going to kill him, and it'll be over. So I'll just skip to the end results here of this battle. So, alright guys, the battle is over. As you can see, a French win. So, you know, good on the, I believe, Napoleonics. Yeah, the Napoleonics pulled off the win against the RC clan. Well played, though, and all members definitely should be proud either way, you know. But let's look at the results here. So you see Little Smurf here. He got 958 kills playing as the 8-pointer. You have Casual, who played as the 11-pointer with 1540 for the kills. You have $. He got 1261 for the kills, and he was Desay. And then you have British Emperor as Messina, 1222 for the kills. On the other side, you have Berek as the 5-point UK, 1333 for the kills. That's pretty good for such a low 5-pointer. Well played. TT Ross, I believe, was playing as Suvorov. He got 895. Mr. Stanners playing as the York 8-pointer. Got 1208. And then Lotus playing as the Austria 708 for the kills. And that was a 10-pointer he was playing. But yeah, well played, as I said before. Really enjoyed. I hope you guys did as well. And that'll be it for me today. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. And as always, I'll catch you all in another video.